Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are making pad thai, the national dish of Thailand and one of our favorite dishes to make overall. We do have one other recipe already on our website for pad thai, but that one is based on ingredients that you can more easily find in your regular grocery store. And this one is going to be using more traditional ingredients, so will be more of a traditional pad thai, except that it will be completely vegan. Pad thai is actually pretty easy to put together, and I think people find it a little bit intimidating because of the unfamiliar Asian ingredients. But one of our favorite things to do is stroll through the Asian supermarkets and learn more about the different ingredients there. Pad thai is based on many traditional flavors and ingredients. However, the main principle behind it is that you want it to be a balance of sweet, spicy, sour, and salty. So our version is based on the many different classes that we took throughout Thailand making pad thai, as well as trial and error. So you're gonna play with your own measurements and see what makes it work for you. Today's recipe is based on our own style. All right, so let's get into the most fun part, the ingredients. First, we have rice noodles, and you can use very, very thin rice noodles, those work as well, or you can use these that are a little bit thicker. Then we have 3 items that make up the main piece of this dish, which is the pad thai sauce, tamarind cooking concentrate. There's several different kinds that you can have. So this concentrate is a little bit runnier and lighter. They have pastes that are thicker and you'll just use a little bit less of it. And then they also have it where it comes in a thicker block, and that has some seeds in it that you need to get out. It's called a pulp. So I prefer this or the paste because it's easier to work with. The other 2 items that make up the pad thai sauce is the fish sauce. So this is what gives it the salty, while the tamarind gives it the sour. And then this is called palm sugar. So palm sugar comes in these discs like this, or it comes in triangles, or it also comes in a tub. I find the discs to be the easiest to work with. When I started out using these, I didn't know how to break them down, but I watched a video that I will link below on how to heat this up in the microwave and soak them first, and then it gives you this paste that's a lot easier to work with. It is different than regular cane sugar in that it is a little bit more of a caramely roasted flavor and lighter than a sweeter cane sugar. Okay, then we have garlic and shallots. We have about a 1/4 block to a 1/2 block of tofu. And then we have, this is sweet pickled radish. So I had never heard of this or seen it before. It comes in a package and they look like this. They're really interesting. So you find those at your Asian grocery market. You don't want to get the salty ones. You want to get the sweet ones specifically. It is an essential ingredient to this dish. You can leave it out, but I think the flavor really changes with it, and it brings another texture into your pad thai that makes it really fun. Okay, and then we have our vegetables. So some people like to use carrots for this. For today's recipe, we are using bean sprouts and then garlic chives. If you hadn't heard of garlic chives before, like I hadn't, they look like this. They are absolutely beautiful. They're very different than regular chives. These are Chinese chives. They smell incredible and they're so fragrant. Even if you just leave them out in the kitchen, your kitchen will smell so good. And I'm gonna start using these in a lot of other recipes. So in our non-traditional pad thai that we have on our site, we just use regular green onions if you aren't able to locate these, but if you can, they are a really cool ingredient to play with. Then to make the dish spicy, I like to use red chili flakes. Some people add sriracha to their pad thai sauce, but I like the effect of the red chili flakes a lot more. We also have peanuts. That's going to go on into the dish of the pad thai as well as a topping. And then we have limes for a topping as well. Last but not least, we have water, and the water is added into the pad thai sauce to dilute it a bit and also to help cook the rice noodles if they're not cooked well enough. You can also just add this directly into your wok while you're cooking if your rice noodles need to be cooked a little bit more. And then we have our canola oil. Okay, so now we're going to soak our rice noodles. You want to soak your rice noodles for about 10 minutes to an hour in warm water. The soaking time depends on your noodles and also on how hot you get the water. So I found when I have really, really hot water, I can go about 15 to 20 minutes. If I have only made it a little bit lukewarm, I need to leave them in for about an hour. Once you do soak your rice noodles, they will expand and get a little bit bigger, but they should look like this and be a lot more soft in consistency. Okay, now we're going to make our pad thai sauce. This is my favorite part. You want to put 3 tablespoons of palm sugar into a bowl. Now we're going to put equal parts of the tamarind concentrate in. If you have more of a paste or the pulp, you'll want to adjust this. And now we're going to put in our fish sauce. That is the salty, and I'm putting in 2 teaspoons. And now you're just going to stir the pad thai sauce, and this is so that you can taste test it. I think it just needs a little bit more fish sauce, so I'm gonna add another like half teaspoon to a teaspoon. All right, now that the sauce is exactly how we want it, we're just gonna add a little bit of water, 2 tablespoons or so. That looks great, and we are ready to start cooking. All right, honestly, I think I shouldn't have freehanded that. I put in a little bit too much oil, so I would hold back on the oil. You really don't need that much. You need probably about a tablespoon. You're gonna add in your garlic and your shallots. Once you can smell the garlic and the shallots getting fragrant and you don't want them to burn, then you can add in your tofu and your pickled radish. And then you're gonna start frying up your tofu. You can also buy pre-fried tofu at the store. Most of the Asian markets have that. If that's something you wanted, it makes this process go even faster. Okay, so the oil is going to pick up the flavors from that onion and garlic and the pickled radish. And it's gonna start infusing the tofu and then the other ingredients when we put them in. Can you smell that? It smells so good. Okay, the tofu took about 4 to 5 minutes to cook and brown. It really depends on what kind of a burner you're using. We're using this induction burner, so it's easier for light and for filming, but on a regular stove, it might go a little bit faster than that. We're gonna add in those noodles, and I like to cook them around a little bit and get them coated with the oil before I put the sauce in. But after this, things start to go pretty quickly. And then I am going to add in our sauce. Oh gosh, it smells so good. I'm gonna switch over to a set of tongs here. What you're gonna wanna look for here is the sauce is gonna start to get thick and sticky. As soon as that isn't a liquid anymore and it's sticky, then you know that your sauce is ready. All right, that sauce is looking really good. Now I'm going to add in our peanuts, and that is going to make them stick. You can also add more afterward. I'm also going to add in our red pepper flakes. I want it really, really spicy. Get those coated, and now we are ready to put in our vegetables. Green onions and big handful of the sprouts. And a good trick that I learned for this is that you want to fold in these items so that they steam and they cook a bit, but they still keep some of their crunch, and then they don't burn in the pan. And then you just want to turn that around and fold those around, and this will be about 30 seconds to a minute. All right, and this is done, and we are ready to serve. Oh wow, that is so good. You're gonna love it because it's a little on the sweet side.